I spent over 5 years chasing healing solutions that promised to get me back to normal fast. And I want to be honest with you about why. I wasn't looking for health. I was looking for a shortcut back to the life that I used to have. Basically feeling like myself again. So every time something was sold to me as the answer, I wanted it to be true. So I went all in on that process. And sometimes I'd feel a flicker of something and then end up right back where I started. And during my healing journey, I've tried it all. I've tried the kits, I've tried the cleanses, and all of the protocols that are out there. I've wasted a lot of time and a lot of money so you don't have to. What I can tell you now after fixing my own health and having worked with hundreds of clients and also fixing their health is that there are specific detox fads, that I like to call them, that simply are not worth your time. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly which detox trends or fads you should absolutely avoid. So let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about is something I put a lot of time and money and faith and energy into, and I'm sure some of you might have done the same as well. It's these all-in-one detox kits. They're literally everywhere right now. Comes in all different types and forms and shapes. So you've got your 30-day detox kits, you've got your sprays that you take a couple times a day, you've got these supplement packs that are built over 90 days with the odd test thrown in. The pitch is always the same. It's take these pills for a set period of time and all of your health issues will be resolved. The branding's really good, the testimonials are convincing, but here is the problem. They treat detox in the exact same way the pharmaceutical model treats disease. It's the same dose, it's the same timeline, it's the same protocol for everyone, as if everybody has the same bottleneck with their health. And trust me, that is not how health works. Successful detoxification should be an individual and a personalized process. So some people, they need to support bile flow first because they're constipated. Others will need to replenish their mineral stores. Some people will have a completely wired nervous system and need to do some nervous system regulation. A lot of people have poor bile flow. And some honestly just need to stop doing so much stuff and stop adding in more supplements, more protocols. My point is this: giving everyone the same supplement stack assumes everyone has the exact same problem, and they don't. But listen, the real issue that I have with a lot of these products and services is the majority of them, they don't actually address the actual congestion that is built up in your body or the lifestyle habits and behaviors that you need to change. So whether it's sluggish bowels or a congested liver or poor bile flow, or it's chronic stress from your job or nutrient depletion from a poor diet, or having your phone next to you 24/7. Those things are constantly impacting your body's ability to detox and heal. So when you invest time and money into these products, you might feel mildly different for a week or so, but then eventually end up back where you started. And essentially then you think, oh, I'll go on to the next product. Yes, supplements absolutely can and do support the detox process. And a lot of these products that are pushed, they are really good products if you bring them in as part of an overall strategy, but just to have them as an isolated solution is not going to get you anywhere. Again, all of this comes from experience. I spent a lot of energy into buying these 3-month packs or these sprays, and that was all I was doing, thinking if I just commit to this, everything's going to work. And ultimately, you do see a slight improvement, whether that's placebo, but as soon as you stop taking these supplements and stop being part of the subscription service, things just go back to how they were. Because ultimately, you're not addressing the underlying root cause of why your body isn't functioning. Okay, let's jump into the second detox fad to avoid. Juice cleanses are one of the biggest fads in the detox space right now. So whether it's an online juice cleanse that you just get delivered to your door and you just drink the bottles as and when you're told to, or you're spending half of your life in the kitchen juicing things yourself and having just an insane amount of pulp to get rid of. I do get why people initially feel good. Because when you strip out ultra processed foods, alcohol, seed oils, like anything bad in your life, you remove that out. And also the excess calories all at once. And then you flood the body with minerals that you get from juicing. You are going to feel better in the short term, absolutely. But distinction matters. Feeling better temporarily is not the same as addressing the root cause of why you've got issues. Because juice cleansers on their own do not actually address what is stuck within your body, the stagnation in your organs and your fat tissues. All of that stuff isn't easily removed by just doing juice cleanses. Also, it doesn't address your sluggish bile flow, which most people have. So a juice cleanse strategy doesn't touch any of that. Yes, you're getting nutrients in, but you're not effectively removing the toxic congestion that needs to go. So eventually, when you stop doing it, the symptoms creep back in. And I've seen a lot of people, friends and people that I've worked with over the years, that committed to these juice cleanses and end up getting their gallbladder removed, because when you're juicing, there's no fat that gets broken down. So your gallbladder basically stops working, and then people ended up getting gallbladder attacks. And I see that trend quite a bit with people who are just doing these juice cleanses in order to try and heal. Don't get me wrong, it has its benefits, but it's not going to solve the problem that you're dealing with. If you've had chronic health issues like brain fog, digestive issues, hormonal issues, energy issues. So as I said, juicing can be a very useful tool. I've used it myself, but it is not a cure. And if you're treating it as your primary strategy, you're basically papering over the cracks and not addressing the real issue. By the way, if you're actively detoxifying or looking to start and you want to make sure that you're building the right foundations rather than just chasing the next big thing or the next big fad, then grab yourself the 10 Detox Starter Tips Guide. It's the exact starting point that I give all of my clients before we do anything else. Link is in the description. Okay, let's keep going because the next one might be the most uncomfortable fad of them all. So have you ever put all of your emotional eggs into an online influencer, a doctor, thinking they had all the answers? I certainly did, and I see this trap literally everywhere. So one guru that says carnivore is the answer, whereas another guru says it's all about being vegan. Then you get someone else that's saying parasites are evil and they're the cause of everything, and at the same time they're showing you a list of Z-led celebrities or YouTubers that they've saved. People don't just buy the advice, they buy into the identity of it all. People can easily become emotionally attached to that person, that tribe, that method, and also the worldview that they offer. And that's, in my opinion, where progress in your healing journey dies. Because once you're attached, you stop thinking critically. You ignore what your own body is trying to tell you because the guru or the influencer said otherwise. And then you keep forcing a protocol that clearly isn't working because you don't want to admit within yourself that you were sold something. As I said, I've done this myself. I remember when I was really sick, buying books, reading them cover to cover, and then going all in on these protocols and just being religiously strict on what I read within these books because I really believed in that person and their methodology. And I thought this is the way out. But what I didn't realize is there is no one said way for anyone. It's so personalized and unique based on what we're dealing with on an individual basis. And the other thing I didn't realize, because I was quite vulnerable at that moment, I was really seduced by the marketing. Again, all these celebrities and all of that stuff. I back then, I didn't have the level of awareness now. I don't give a damn about celebrities, full stop. But I was drawn into that and I was influenced. And as a result, I did things longer than I should have done because I fell for the marketing. So here's what I know now that I didn't know back then. Nobody can solve your health for you. Yes, they can guide you. Yes, they can shorten the learning curve and they can help you avoid certain mistakes. But the observing, the testing, the adjusting, and the ownership, that has to come from you. And this is something that I'm very deliberate about with clients that join my programs. When people come into our programs, we're very clear from day one, we are part of your entourage. We are not some type of guru that's going to tell you what to do. We're here to guide you. We're here to support you. We're here to walk along with you on your journey, but we're not here to tell you what to do and to have you follow what we say bluntly. Because what I found and what I've seen time and time again and through my own experience is that when people take genuine ownership of their health and when they stop outsourcing it and they start leading, they draw something out of them that they never knew that they had. And for me, that's where the real transformation happens. It's not from following the perfect protocol. It's from taking ownership and just going all in on the process and figuring it out. Basically becoming someone who understands their body. So whoever you work with can absolutely support you in your mission, but they are not there to lead your mission. The real breakthrough happens when you stop looking for a savior and you start becoming the operator of your own health. Now, the next detox fad, I'm sure, is going to light up the comments. Because unlike anything we've talked about so far in this video, the next approach actually is part of a thorough detox process. But it's the way people approach it that keeps them stuck. And again, I definitely fell into this trap and I want to show it to you guys so you avoid it. And I also see this a lot in the DMs on Instagram, people asking me questions about this very thing. After tons of research, most people come to this thinking. They think to themselves, I've just got to keep doing loads of liver flushes and passing loads of stones, and then everything's going to work out. Now, here's the thing. As a culture, we're conditioned to look at one singular solution when it comes to fixing our health. It's far easier than facing the full picture of how complex health can be. But the reality is health rarely works that way. Again, this comes from personal experience, and also people that end up joining my programs. They come to me after doing 10, 20, 30 liver flushes, and they're like, why hasn't it worked? I was told all I've got to do is cleanse my liver and everything will work out. And I say to them, it's only a piece of a very complex puzzle. Yes, you have to do it, but it's not like just do liver flushing or liver cleansing and everything works out. It doesn't work like that. Listen, even as someone who deeply believes in the power of detoxification and also liver detox specifically, I can tell you this very confidently. It's not just about cleansing your liver. You have to look at the whole system. You have to look at sleep quality, your gut integrity, digestion, mineral status, your nervous system. It's endless. The environment that you're living in, your daily habits, having optimal elimination pathways. So many elements that you need to consider alongside your liver. So don't get me wrong, the liver matters enormously, but it's not like it's the only thing that you need to focus on. But what I see out there in the DMs are people just obsessing about liver health, liver flushes, coffee enemas, castor oil packs. At the same time, they don't look at their diet, they don't look at their stress levels, they don't look at the food they're eating, and then they wonder why doing all these liver cleanses aren't working. It's easy to fall into the just doing these one-off events to fix our health, but it's not that simple. No occasional liver flush or sticking coffee up your bum is going to solve that problem. Now, the last one is probably the biggest fad in the detox space right now. And I'll be honest, when I first came across it many years ago, I also thought it was a missing piece to what was going on with me. And obviously it wasn't. So parasites have become the new quick fix explanation for pretty much every symptom known to man. Got fatigue? Parasites. Got bloating? Parasites. Skin issues? Parasites. Binging on too much YouTube content? Definitely parasites. Look, parasitic imbalances are absolutely real. I am not dismissing that at all. But the marketing around it, in my opinion, has become quite shallow and misleading. And I think it sells because it does two things really well. Firstly, it gives a clear enemy. Parasites are the bad guys. And then second, the images that circulate around social media are genuinely shocking, right? So people panic, they reach for the wallet, and they buy the said Parasite Cleanse. And as I said, the pitch is always the same. You have parasites, buy this, and everything will be fixed. And of course, I wish it was that simple, but it's not. The question that you need to be asking is, why is your internal terrain somewhere that parasites want to live in the first place? Because what they won't tell you, and what most people don't know, is parasites are not random. They are there largely because your body is toxic. Those parasites feed off the very things that are making you unwell. So the man-made chemicals, the heavy metals, the accumulated waste in your body that you haven't been able to clear. So in many ways, parasites show up to help clean up the toxic internal environment that you have. So when you go straight into killing them without addressing why they're actually there, without clearing the toxic load that they've been feeding off, two things happen. One, those parasites die and they release a flood of toxins back into your body, and your body probably isn't equipped to handle them. So that's why so many people feel absolutely terrible during a parasite cleanse, because all the toxins they were storing and eating, they then just release them back into the system. And number two, the terrain of your body stays the same. So the same problem that brought the parasites there is still there. Parasites are bioremediators. They're there because your foundation is toxic. And just by killing them, you're not solving the reason why they're there. The analogy that I like to use is flies around poop. The flies are like the parasites, the poop is the toxins. You can kill the flies, but the next day they'll come back because they're there because they like the poop. So until you get rid of the poop, you still got the underlying issue of why the flies or the parasites like to be there. And again, time and time again, I see people just jumping into these parasite cleanses and then feeling horrendous because they thought parasites were the root cause of what's going on with them. What's the root cause is the toxicity in your body. So the goal with detox is about building a body where parasites do not want to be in the first place. Where your internal terrain is so clean, parasites have nothing to feed on and they just pass on through. Now, does parasite cleansing have its place in detox? Yes, it absolutely does. But it has to be done at the right time, when your elimination pathways are open, when your liver can handle that new toxic load. You have to prime your body to be able to detoxify parasites. So if you do it too early or do it in the wrong sequence, you're not basically cleansing, you're just stirring up toxins that go nowhere and redistribute around your body. So here's the deal. Every single one of these approaches that I've just walked you through have one thing in common. They all promise results, without you having to make any fundamental changes to the conditions that created the problem. That's exactly why they're so appealing. Because fundamentally, changing those conditions, those habits and behaviors, it's harder and it's slower. And it requires you to be honest with yourself about your lifestyle, your habits, your environment, your stress, the daily choices that you make. But when you do the work, when you stop chasing the shortcuts and you start building that foundation, your body will absolutely respond. I've seen it hundreds of times. I've lived it myself. So if you're still in that cycle of trying something new, feeling a little short-lived, and then ending up back where you started, this is your sign to stop adding new things in and start addressing the real root cause of what's going on. And if you want a practical place to start, make sure you watch the next video where I break down what proper detoxification actually looks like step by step.